Max, how you doing?
Hey, brother, what's going on?
Well, let's see. We haven't gotten together in months.
Yeah,
And a lot's going on with you.
And it'll be many more months till we get together again. It's enough. It's enough of life. It is enough of people. I am so sick of everyone. Not you two. Not you.
Well, who's pissing you off now?
Everyone. Everyone is a load. My friends are loads. As you get older, your friends become loadier. It's to be warned. Our guest...
Well, you're my friend, so what does that mean?
You've gotten a little loadier in your old age.
Thanks,
but it's okay.
man.
It's okay. I still love you, but there's a difference. You're family. You see?
I know, but we're saying...
Some of my friends are family, but honestly, my best friends right now are a couple in their 30s. They are reinvigorating. And they're as darkly cynical and detested of the human race as I am.
Yeah, but you have to, I guess, if they're your friends now, then you realize that they're just sort of loads in waiting, I guess.
Well, if they have children, probably. But I don't think they are. They're haunted people. They have a haunt.
Okay.
They have a registered haunt.
Well, we're coming up to Halloween, so that's good.
We went to, the four of us went to the haunted hayride last night.
Yeah.
It was great. Universal Horror Nights has gotten too out of control. Too many people, too many mazes, too much Hollywood, too much noise, no atmosphere. Haunted hayride in Los Angeles, pure atmosphere. It felt like I was in Twin Peaks going to a haunted hayride. Have you ever been on a hayride?
Never.
It's like a big truck with hay bales that you sit on. Only in this case, it's corrupted by evil and killer clowns and
filth and
spooky aliens.
Wow,
and
that's your cup of tea.
And hellbillies. I love hellbillies.
Hellbillies?
Yeah.
Wow.
They come at you with the chainsaw.
Wow.
But I don't even care about the scares. I just like the atmosphere.
So you were transported for an hour or an hour and a half?
We were there for a while, and then we went into a couple mazes, and they were very artful. Some of these mazes can be works of art. Horror mazes, haunted mazes. Halloween haunted mazes.
Right.
All the fog, all the lights.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to get some gore, and you're going to get a chewed up baby in the corner that springs up at you. You have to sign a waiver for this place.
Really? So if you have a heart attack, you can't sue them?
Yeah.
Now, did you go with this 30-year-old couple?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, she's 30. She's 31, and he's 37.
Is that your new thing? Basically 40 and under? Over 40, you're fucked with Max.
This was a couple that Nicole worked with.
Okay.
And then I went to their wedding, and then I fell in love with them because they have a great love of horror, Halloween.
Yes.
They're total Halloween people.
All right.
You got to be one of those.
Well, to hang with you, yes.
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 Yeah, I mean, you don't have to, but it would help.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
understand.
A cheery disposition only goes so far with me, but I will appreciate it.
Right. What you're saying is, for us to be even closer as we get older, I have to become really dark.
No, I don't think it's ever going to happen.
It's not. I'm pretty cheery.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, have you known me dark?
Dark Lorenzo. What would that be?
I don't know.
No, my name is Lorenzo, and I am in the dark. No. I don't think it would work for you. Plus, you're wearing those on your feet. Forget it.
My sandals don't elude darkness.
I don't want to look at your toes.
All right.
Do you understand?
But, I don't get mani-pedis, by the way, so. But I do my own. How bad do they look?
I don't want to look at it's gross. I like
right.
chick toes, not dude toes.
All right, let's look at chick toes. Speaking of that, guess what?
What?
We have a really cool chick in here.
I know. She's awesome.
All right, well, we have
I'm
to talk
anxious
about...
to get to know her.
Well, she's an amazing woman.
Okay.
And I brought her in.
Okay.
Full disclosure, she is a physical trainer, and she trains my wife and kicks her ass.
Wow.
And tries to make her healthy and happy and live longer.
Oh, my gosh.
And she's all about health. And she's not about the darkness. At least I don't think so. There might be a dark layer that we'll find out maybe. But we have to give a big Guys Day in welcome to Morgan Rees.
Hello.
Hey, Morgan.
Now,
Hi.
Morgan, I think this is because the difference is you have to be cheery because you're a healer, essentially, right? Would you say that?
I have to mask.
Mask the suffering and the pain and the anguish.
I can be very dark.
See, now you've peaked. Now Max is all in on this.
Can you give one example? And then we'll get into the positive
Oh,
stuff.
my humor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so comedy shows, things like that.
Oh, yeah?
I love comedy shows, and just the most messed up types of jokes that you can hear, where you laugh just because you're like, wow, that's really
Wow,
bad.
that's
You
really
really shouldn't
bleak.
say that. Yeah, it's like that's bad, and you kind of look around, and you kind of laugh to yourself just to see how many other people are laughing.
Yeah. So you're talking about you like to go to stand-up shows.
I love stand-up comedy.
Oh, wow. So where do you go to see stand-up?
They have, so like Laugh Factory, of course, and
Oh,
Comedy
yeah.
Store, and then they have some at like the Bourbon Room in Hollywood.
Yes.
I have several friends that are comedians, so
You support their gigs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
absolutely.
nice of you. That's
yeah.
nice of you. And you think they're funny? Or
They're
you're
all
just-
good.
They're all good.
They're
Do-
all
Do you have
good.
one favorite?
Adam Ray. He's
Adam
been
Ray.
dressing up as Dr. Phil. So like
Oh.
so if that's kind of what he's known for now. But yeah, and then Brad Williams. So he's a little person. So
I love Brad Williams.
Yes,
I know who he is.
I love Brad and his family. And so I first met him actually back in the Midwest years ago, like in Indianapolis. And we became friends, and then he moved out to LA, and then I ended up moving out here. And by then, he was, I think, engaged at that point. Then they got married, then they had their daughter. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just
That's
been...
where you were born, Indianapolis?
No, I was born in North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Any good serial killers in your town?
No. I mean, and I was only there for about, I went back there because my mom's family's from there. But really, I grew up in Iowa.
Iowa. So you
Yeah.
must have been on a hayride.
I don't even know. Iowa's just wild.
Do you like the smell of hay bales?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And gas.
Oh, that's
I'm that person.
great.
I'm that person.
That's
Wow.
great.
Well, you just
But-
said you grew up, but you were wild.
No, Iowa. Well, yes.
How
I was
were
a-
you wild?
I was a pretty feral child. I think,
Were you tomboy-ish?
yes.
Because I'm getting a tomboy vibe, which
Yes.
might have transferred into being a physical trainer.
But
and-
not an athlete. I was never an athlete. I was in choir.
Oh,
Yes. I was
okay.
in
So you're
choir.
musical too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
It was that first. And then, yeah, in Iowa, we had a big backyard. My dad hand weeded, I'm an only child, so he hand weeded the backyard. But everywhere else, like on that street, it was really, really bad. It was like deep,
Like drugs bad?
like
or?
deep white trash.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Bad. Yes,
People marrying their
drugs
sisters and
yeah,
that kind of
just no, that's more redneck.
Oh,
This is
see,
more
I-
like
I need to learn what's the difference between white trash and redneck.
It depends on where you are.
I see.
Because then it kind of blends together. And then you have trailer. Like it's just a difference. It's like this is more like everybody's dirty, and there's just kids running around in the front yard, and it's just the parents. You don't even know what they're doing. And then they would come to our house because my mom would help take care of them. Everybody had head lice. It was so bad. It was so bad.
So
And-
unkempt, unsanitary,
Yep.
just no hygiene.
Yeah.
Parents don't know where their kids are.
Mhm. They don't care.
You know, men are just out looking for
I don't even
girls.
know. Yeah.
Women are looking for boys.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was just and
We don't take kind of pedicures.
it
Wow,
was
I guess
like
not.
it was, you think of it as a street. It wasn't even like, oh, where did you live? It's like, oh, Western Avenue. It was like we had the block, and like
Yeah.
that's kind of how it was, and all the kids went around there. So that's where I was for the first 6 years. So that was my entire childhood, and then we went to Indianapolis after that. So
What
Indianapolis,
is there? What's in Indianapolis?
there's a lot actually.
The Speedway, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, more
the
than that.
Speedway.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's like racing, but like if you actually, people have had to go there for like, I don't know, a work trip or something, and they're always surprised. There is a lot you can do there. And they had the Super Bowl there one year. Like we did stuff, and it's the downtown area. They've had to redo parts of it though, as any place. The other towns outside of downtown, you have places that would imitate like Beverly Hills, that would imitate a West Hollywood, and all of that. So it's
Those places are probably better than Beverly Hills and West Hollywood today.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I would say they. It's interesting. It's kind of like Edward Scissorhands town. You go in and all the yards are perfect and all this, and that's like one area of Indianapolis. And yeah, I mean, it was really good. I had a great childhood, even in Iowa.
But is that where you were in the choir?
I was in choir, and I was in the Indianapolis Children's Choir.
Oh.
So that's when I really got into it, and we would travel around the world and sing.
Wow.
And, yeah. So that was my exposure to the world.
Was it competitions?
We
or-
did have them, but we were just really good. So there was just
Wow.
no reason. It was more of like we were touring, is what it was.
Did you sing in Germany and Japan and
We did.
Botswana?
I did Germany, Austria, Russia, Czech Republic, Greece, and Ireland.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So
Holy
you're
shit.
this young girl singing and you're seeing the world.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
really incredible. And it was all educational, which is like the best way to start it out. Because then people now at our age, like, will go to Greece and then they go to Mykonos and they're just drunk the whole time.
Right.
It's like you're not really experiencing what's there.
Right. You learned about the culture you were in.
Oh, yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And you had a chaperone, you had a teacher that
Yeah.
was going to, not let the kids run around free. and stuff.
Exactly.
But at that point, did you think, wow, I think I want to be a singer? How do you go
So-
from that to like, I think I want to pump iron and kick
Well,
people's
it
butts?
started with music. I was always singing. I started private lessons when I was in probably like 3rd grade.
Oh.
And I did private vocal training for about 7 or 8 years. And then I actually was like, I want to be a singer, and I was going to move here for that. And then I didn't. So it was all through high school, I was in that choir, and then did my own singing. And then, yeah, I mean, if you're not willing to sacrifice what you're going to need to sacrifice at that age,
Yeah.
then you're going to move out here. And if the chances that either you already have a lot of money from your family, or you're going to come out here and you have to do all these other jobs while you try to pursue a career that you can't even promise is going to happen.
Welcome to art.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And I was just not
for
willing to
anyone.
do all that.
Yeah.
So instead, I went to college for kinesiology, and I didn't stop singing,
Wait,
but
for
I was
what?
kinesiology, so
What?
exercise science.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you thought, if I'm going to go out there, I got to get pragmatic.
Yes.
I love singing, but it's too tenuous. It's too hard.
Yeah.
I need to make money and live. But you
Yeah.
had another interest in the body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I really couldn't tell you where that started because I didn't play any sports. My mom was involved in like strength training, and she had been a modern dancer for
Oh.
most of her life. But I still I couldn't jump, couldn't do a cartwheel, I couldn't. So I don't know. I started.
And you didn't lift weights, right? You weren't
No.
like singing and then bench pressing 100
No,
pounds.
I didn't do any of that.
Oh.
It wasn't really until college. I mean, obviously I had that degree, but the first 2 years I was in college, I was in a music program, and it was my dad's music program.
Your dad's into music.
Yes, so
Oh.
he was a
What does he
music
do?
professor.
Oh.
Yeah, so he basically built different music programs. That's why we were living in Iowa, and he worked.
Oh.
He was a professor at NYU, so they wanted him to come to Indianapolis and build their music program there.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
For Indiana University?
Yeah, so they did Indiana University and Purdue University, and then they put them together
Oh.
into one college downtown.
Mhm.
So you have the School of Music that could be through IU, or the School of Engineering that would be through Purdue.
Wow.
So yeah, but then I was like the daughter, that I was late, didn't get good grades, didn't have work very hard. Like I was that kid.
You were the black sheep.
I was, and I was the only
Morgan
sheep.
won't amount to anything. What are we going to do with
Yeah,
her?
yeah. It was like she's not doing anything, and then I switched to kinesiology, and even then it was still I took biology 3 times. Yeah.
Did you think, maybe this is not for me?
No, I thought school sucks. This is stupid. And I didn't like really what it was is I just have ADHD and I didn't know how to learn. And I didn't know that I had any of these issues.
Are you dyslexic too?
No.
Okay, because they go hand in hand.
I'm so glad I'm
Yeah.
not.
But you can't focus.
Yeah. Yeah, with
So you'd be
medication.
focusing and trying to read for a test and go, oh, there's a squirrel over there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Or I would just start reading and I'd be like, yep, nope, can't do it. And I'd be like, I'm going to go scrub the tile in the bathroom
As we all do.
That's
Yeah.
a good thing to do,
at
though.
Yeah.
1 a.m. You
So
know?
you had a really clean bathroom.
No, because then you just let it with some types of ADHD, everything just goes to complete shit, and then you spend one day 10 hours. You're just doing everything, just so good,
And that was your type.
and then it just goes back. There's
I
no
see.
regulation
Okay.
at all.
There's no system. There's no routine.
No.
It's all or nothing.
Yep.
Wow.
Or it's just everything, everywhere, all over
Wow.
the place.
That sounds mentally so encompassing. You know what I mean?
I didn't know at the time. Now I'm like, yes. But back then, yeah, I was feral. Like my brain was feral. I was just doing this, doing that, going there, da 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 da. And then you look back and you're like, why would you do that? It's like, I don't know. I just did it. And I survived.
I mean, you're a
Graduated
trainer
college.
now. Are you an ADHD trainer right
Yep.
now?
Definitely.
Are you like, okay, let's do sit up? No. We're going to do leg. No. We're
No,
going to do.
I'm medicated.
Yes.
Okay. So you're
she's
a
got the
medicated.
treatment now.
You get a
Medicated
treatment,
and
medication,
therapy.
better living through chemistry kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the medication that does it. You have to implement all of your practices. So I am talking to myself all day
Wow.
in my head.
We're going to focus on this person. We're going to focus
Yep.
on this person. We're going to get through this hour,
Mhm.
and you have these goals to meet for this person. We're going to do it.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
relate to a lot of what you're saying, and I am not on medication
Mm-hmm.
for ADHD. However, I don't know if you enjoy the benefits of cannabis, but if I have to really do a deep cleaning, I'll take a 5 sativa
Really?
and I will accomplish great things.
Wow.
I can't stay up late at night like you can because I'm a fogey now, but I think it's very admirable to deep clean like that. And I know what you mean when the mess comes.
Yep.
And even if you don't tend, like I have to Swiffer, the condo every day. And especially it's a 2 Swiffer procedure. And
Yes.
sometimes
Oh
it's
my
a wax
God,
procedure.
Is it one Swiffer per arm?
I mean,
are
I
you
could.
Are you double Swift?
I could be Edward Swiffer
Are you
hands
a
if I wanted
Swiftie?
to.
That's funny.
Uh,
That was actually really funny.
It was?
That was funny.
Thank you. So I take because I have dogs too, so they get a lot of hair, and I can't have the hair. So I put the dry Swiffer on, and it has dogs on the box, so I knew I got the right one. And then I do the wet swiffing. And then on the weekends, the wife has to hold the dogs, so I can, with the wax and the sprays and the, it's a little rough.
No,
Unattended,
there really
it's
is.
a little rough.
It's a step. There is a certain order and ways that we have to do it.
Yeah.
I totally understand. And then because we've built so many ways, like the exact way that we have to do something, that it's overwhelming to do it. So then we don't want to transition from one activity to another.
Right.
Like even getting out of the car and going in the house or the apartment is like you sit there and you're like, okay, we're going to do it. And then unless somebody calls you or dog's barking, like I have 3 cats in my apartment right now, and one's a Bengal.
Oh,
He just
boy.
screams at me. So I have to get out of the car. If not, I will sit there. I'll
No
just-
kidding.
No,
You have to talk to yourself about the act of getting out of your car.
Mhm.
Wow.
I have to say, you're going to have trouble transitioning right now from this to the apartment.
From a seated position to a walking position?
It's what you have to do when you walk in the door, how many bags you have to grab out of the car to go inside. You want to do it all in one trip. You know that you probably can't, so you have to go in and out and in and out.
You're analyzing every movement.
Yes.
It's a constant analyzation of
Yes.
life.
Because if not, you'll
Wow.
leave something in the car, you'll forget it. So that's like where the medication, it slows down my brain.
Okay.
So I can do that, but at the same time, it doesn't fix your problem. It
Right.
just makes you more aware of your problem.
It just makes you cope with the problem.
It
and if
makes
you ever
you-
go
yeah.
off the medication, you go backwards.
Oh, I don't know.
And then you have to think about taking the medication. You have to open up the bottle,
Mm-hmm.
and then an extra pill falls on the floor. You have to bend down and pick it up. That goes in your brain
Yep.
too. Wow,
Yep.
that's unbelievable.
Yep. So during a session, like working with your wife, I don't have a plan because there are so many different things going on with her body that we're working on stability and mobility and then, alignment and all this. So I just give her some things to do and I watch what her body does and I'm like, oh, we got to go over here. We got to go over there. And the whole session, that's all that's going on in my head.
I see.
I can see Naomi doing that with the
Yeah.
duck walk and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then I'm like, oh, where's your foot?
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
she'll go, oh,
Yeah. She does walk like a duck.
Yeah.
Yeah, she waddles. Always did.
She
from when I
waddles.
met her.
She's a
Yeah, it's like
waddler.
she's really cute and she walks like a duck.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how I always have been.
Wow.
I would say, well, my boyfriend says I walk like a toddler. So he says toddler, but he's also a postural alignment corrective exercise therapist.
Wow.
So I'm always like,
Does he try to help you, or when he does, you tell him to shut the
fixed-
fuck up?
He fixed my whole body.
Oh, no
And I
kidding.
tell him, I'm
Good
like,
guy.
you got to get me. And I'm washing the dishes, and he'll go, right thigh. And I know to like rotate my knee out because
Wow.
it's collapsing inward. Like he'll fix, but then sometimes he's like, Morgan, I can't. This is annoying. He gets annoyed
I was
I
going to
don't.
ask you if you got
Nope.
annoyed.
because
Okay.
I'm learning.
I
It's my
understand.
job.
Yeah.
So I'm learning about myself. I can't relax. I can't let it go because I also have fibromyalgia and that hurts when I let go.
Oh,
What is
wow.
that?
Essentially, it's like if Trump ran your nervous system. Yeah.
So sorry.
It does stuff you
Awful.
don't want it to do. It doesn't make any sense. It's loud, it's annoying, then it's like nothing, and then it's stupid. All of these things at once, and so my pain signals are just constantly going. So me sitting here, I'm having to make sure that I'm sitting nice and tall and using everything, because if I collapse to the right, my whole right side swells.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's constant. With ADHD, does not help, because then you have sensor. It's just
You're in this cycle of
all day.
mental, analyzing, painful.
I hope you sleep
Shit.
well after all this exhaustion.
Well, you mentioned cannabis.
Yeah.
So that helps me sleep.
Yeah.
I bet.
But that's, yeah. I mean, that and gabapentin, but yes. Those two things together.
Yeah. Dude.
But then there are nights, like last night, I have the Aura ring, so I know that I slept. It was only like 4.5 hours.
It's not a lot.
It was really bad.
Let me go backwards and then we can go forwards. When you're trying to be a singer and you have to learn songs and you're touring, and, I'm a musician and, there's different parts to songs, it's choruses and verses and bridges, and you have this condition. How did you get through a song? Are you thinking, okay, I gotta get to the chorus now, but after the chorus there's going to be an 8-bar bridge and I have to do that. Are you thinking of the song as you're singing it?
She's ascending to the heavens because it's a very spiritual experience being in choir, I would imagine.
In choir, back then, I just had no idea. My fibromyalgia wasn't this bad. I didn't even know. Really, when you learn the things that you have to deal with, when you go to therapy or just self-realization, whatever it is, you open Pandora's box. And sometimes awareness, it's like ignorance is bliss. I was running around. My life wasn't organized. I really wasn't progressing. My potential was there, but I couldn't reach it. But then when you learn all of these things, like, oh, you have abandonment problems, you have sensory issues, you're probably autistic, you also have ADHD, so then it's almost like you're slammed with it.
Wow.
So I didn't have to deal with any of that then.
Right. Because you didn't know.
Yeah.
No, I had no idea. So
Would
it's
you-
only been the past year that I've been living in all of the psychological
So only
stuff.
the past year has been this realization of all these things. Would you also consider yourself on the spectrum?
Oh, for sure.
Oh.
I was such a weird kid. I was so weird. I was so weird. But then, I lived so many years hiding that I came off as normal. But even then, normal, the more, like all my friends from back home, all the way through college, like when I was like, hey, it's been interesting. Like went to a psychiatrist and my therapist was like, hey, maybe you should get this looked at because you do weird stuff. And I can, we talked about my childhood. And I was like, would you guys be surprised if I was on the spectrum? And they're like, no. They were like, you're so weird. You're just attractive.
We
You
all
got
knew
away with
that.
it. Yeah, they're like, you got away with so much because you're cute. And they're like, you're weird. But then they was like, but she's cute. So what do we do with this?
Right.
Well,
in America, being cute, you can get away with a lot.
Oh, yeah,
It's the secret to life. That's why I couldn't get away with anything. Would you also become kind of an actress? Like, well, I'm weird, and maybe you knew you were different, but you would just kind of act
all day.
and be someone else.
Yep.
I can see that.
In 8th grade, I started copying what some of the popular girls, I still had my morals. Like, I wasn't going to be mean to my friends, but all my friends were really weird too. And so I would copy clothes, copy facial expressions. I would copy words and, I would kind of become a mix of these other people because I didn't know what I was.
Right.
Because anything I did was just weird.
So just to fit in, there's a movie you probably never heard of by Woody Allen called Zelig. You know that
I've
movie called
heard of it.
And that's what it sounds like you were. You would fit in with the group and just become the group.
Yeah.
Then you're in another group and you become them.
Chameleon.
Yeah, you're just a chameleon.
Yep.
And therefore, but underneath the act, you don't know who we are.
No.
You're this weirdo.
Yep.
Hey, do you require subtitles if you're watching a show? or film?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Now, if I go to the movie theater,
You're screwed.
and so but if you're at a theater, you can't be on your phone, you can't be doing other stuff. So you are watching, and
Yeah.
it's a massive screen.
Yeah.
So if I'm at home, will I sit down and watch? No. I will not sit down and watch anything.
Wow.
I am cleaning, I am doing things, I don't stop moving.
Multitasking.
Yeah. If I sit down, I'm like, I'm wasting everything in my
Really?
life. Yeah. I'm
But
like,
give me the connection. You're at a movie. Why? That's a great question. I'm just trying to know why you would need subtitles. Is it because you can't focus on the words coming at you?
You answer that one.
No, it's the clarity of the storytelling. Like I've noticed over the years, I've needed subtitles because my brain starts moving and I want to focus. Like
You start thinking of other things in your life.
yeah,
And they're like, oh,
yeah.
where are we now in the movie?
And I permit myself to get disrupted by this stupid device, which I've learned to now. I've learned the do not disturb button only within the past couple of years, right? But also, for example, my all-time favorite show is The Sopranos. Okay, so if I go through it again, I did it again this time with, and I so admire the fact that you just can't sit there and rot like I do. But I put on the subtitles, and now all of the storylines that I never fully understood, like all the weird deals that went down, I now understand because I'm also reading it. So it becomes a cinematic novel.
Oh,
And it
wow.
helps me focus, and it helps me get the story, and it helps me see nuances. It's almost like seeing with a third eye.
Wow.
I start to see past, everything that everyone else is watching on the front, and I'm seeing the cinematography, and the subtitles are keeping me grounded and focused.
See, I thought you would explain that better.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was that a good
No,
explanation?
that's it.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
interesting.
Yeah.
So you don't, if you physically go to a movie and you're sitting there, obviously there's no subtitles, half of your brain is like, I should be doing something. I should be with a client. I should be running. I should be cleaning my tiles or...
You permit yourself for
I do.
a movie.
I say tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight, the movie is at 7:30. The movie is 2 hours and 5 minutes long. There are 20 minutes of ads.
Yeah,
the movie
ads.
will start at 7:50.
Oh my gosh.
You will be out at this time. Then you will go home and do this. You have this long until you do that. You can't sit down when you walk in the door. Before you go to the movie, do this, 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 and this.
Morgan, I'm starting to do that myself. Wow.
You're analyzing the whole
I am
action.
forecasting my future day. Like I
Yes.
can't help it now. I used to be much more spontaneous, and now everything has to be. I got to know where the end line is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So it sounds like this internal Alexa that has to
Mm-hmm.
you knew every single step and the times.
It helps me with time management because I do waste a lot of time, and as you get older, you realize that you don't have a lot of time left. So that's not going to stop me from watching The Sopranos again. But you know what I mean? It's like it'll. I don't know.
It'll focus you to help you get something done.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yes.
It's about accomplishing something.
And does it mean that I hyperfixate on time and my schedule. I run my schedule through my head probably 100 times a day. So that's probably more OCD. But I run it through, and it doesn't give me anxiety. It relaxes me.
But at least for you, you do have other human beings to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not a singer where you just have to sing for yourself. You've got clients, and they have schedules, and you have to, like even this, you're here on this podcast. We canceled it 3 times because shit happens.
But that's okay. It doesn't bother me at all.
Right, but you still had to, be flexible and deal with time because other people have their times.
Yes.
So it's not
Is
just
your
you.
calendar on your phone just?
I don't do, that's the thing. And it would be better to do this, but at the same time, I haven't gotten there yet,
Yeah.
where my work schedule is in there. But then I have like certain things, like if I have a therapy session or I have like an event or like somewhere I need to be, like this was in my calendar. I have my work calendar and then I have my Apple calendar. And so I go between the two and I check every single day multiple times a day just to think like, what are some other things you need to get done? And then that leads to not getting anything else done.
Wow.
Yep.
So with your business, fair to say you're a self-made woman.
Yeah, which is
And-
wild to say.
Yeah. I mean, after all of these struggles and everything else, now I can only imagine word of mouth is helping also.
Yeah.
In
And
your kind of business, right? Are you
Absolutely.
attached to a studio or anything like that?
So in mostly like East Coast, West Coast, they don't really do it in the Midwest as much. But as a trainer, it's kind of like renting a booth if you were a hairstylist. So you pay hourly at a gym. So you charge whatever you charge. And then they take anywhere from $20 to $35 from the hour. And then you have your client there for that time, and then you book them ahead of time for the gym. And you can go to different gyms. Or if you go to one gym, then you buy a package and you pay less per hour. But then almost all your clients really need to go there.
Yeah.
Right. You could be a gym gypsy.
Yes.
Given the
You could.
location of each client.
Yep. And some
might
people
be
do
in
that.
one city and one is 10 miles away, and you're probably driving all over the place.
Yeah, and it's like if I have in-home clients, I have only 3. So like on Wednesdays when I see like that is the time in the middle of the day is fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's not become an issue. And then I have Saturdays for other days that other people that I do that with. Everyone else is pretty much at the gym just down the street, like 7 or 8 minutes away from me.
So the at-home types, is this more like a rehabilitative course that you're taking with them, helping them? Or is it just you're strengthening them, helping them build, like, what exactly are you doing, like with Naomi?
So the reason that people would want to do in-home is, number one, they can afford it because it's obviously going to be more money depending on how much time. Because if that takes out a whole hour of me getting there and coming back,
Right.
then some trainers are mean and they're like, I'm going to charge you double what I charge. And I'm like,
Whoa.
relax.
Whoa.
Like, unless you are booked back to back, I'm not that mean. I just charge like a travel fee.
Right.
So usually people that do that, they can afford that. And then also, if they are in home, it could also mean that it's somebody that they just don't want to be in a gym environment. It's more convenient for them. We don't.
That's me.
Yeah, like we don't need to
Yeah.
be in a gym with a bunch of machines and stuff.
And a bunch of sweaty people that
Yeah.
leave the machine all sweaty.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you have a reformer.
I do.
And I'm getting my Pilates certification.
Are you
so,
really?
Yeah, so I've been working on her. I'm
Pilates!
Yep.
I might need to hire you for a Pilates
She
session.
says that you use that thing. So
That's why I
I've
bought
been
it.
using I've come in, I'm like, all right, go. She's like, oh, okay.
Okay, then we'll talk later. Full
Yeah.
disclosure, I
Right.
got to tell you, my wife is Naomi, and for a while she was a couch potato, not watching The Sopranos, just
Sports.
not doing
Lakers.
anything. And I thought, oh, that's not going to work. And I found Morgan online.
Oh, you found her.
I found her. I searched for, I just typed in, what did I type in? I just typed in
Personal trainer.
personal trainer Los Angeles. And all these people came up, and some were mean, and some were ridiculously overpriced. And then
Some were mean.
some were kind of like, I didn't talk to them. They would send me like these really cold emails. I'm this price. Like, well, okay, give me, and they wouldn't answer back, and it was crazy. She answered back really quickly. She was really sweet. Then I finally called her, and she was great. And I said, I think you're the one. And she's been with Naomi for 2 years now?
I think it's been 2 years.
2 years.
Oh.
And she's great. Then I got to know her a little bit, and I'm thinking, I think she needs to be on Guys Day In. So that's how all this happened.
Oh, that's
But I want to
great.
connect some dots. You know, if you go back to, I'm a singer, I'm not doing anything. You go to kinesiology, and then you had to take biology 3 times. So, but how do you go from that road to like, I'm going to get personal clients? And the clients don't fall from the sky. Once you're a certified trainer, and you have to go down that road to get to that point, did you just put ads online? Do you just do your friends in the beginning, and then they tell their people? Or give us the whole, like,
This
you
is
know,
the stuff that I wish people would not gatekeep or whatever they call it. Trainers are not friendly to each other. They don't, not everyone, but in general, we're not learning from each other enough. We're not sharing experience and education. And this concept right here, it's not the only way, but it is kind of the most direct way, I would say. So first off, I had to get out of the Midwest, which I knew I was going to. So once I graduated college, then I had, I think, I don't know, 8 months, and then I came to LA, and I was terrified. I didn't want to go. I wanted to go, but I didn't want to go. So my mom and my dad packed up my car for me and drove it up to the top of the driveway, and they're like, bye. And I was
They kicked you out.
sobbing, leaving.
Wow.
Yeah, I was but I knew I had to go. I just
Of course, they
needed-
did too.
Yes, yeah, it was fine. It wasn't like they were making me.
Yes.
Because I was like, what am I going to do here? Like, nothing.
And they knew that. They're like, you
Yes.
have to go on your own and grow up and
Yes.
learn what you learn.
And then I came to LA, worked at a gym for about 10 months. Then I was fired. That is not the route I suggest, but it
But
was
you
great
worked
for
at
me.
a gym as a trainer. Mm-hmm. Now, did you have a degree in
I
the
had my
kinesiology
degree.
at that time?
But they don't care about that. You need to be certified. That's
How
all you
could
need.
anyone fire you? What the fuck was the problem? What'd you do?
Well, I was working at a gym I was the only female. And it was all straight men, ironically, in West Hollywood, which is crazy.
Oh, that's
And now I'd manage things better and keep my boundaries more aligned. And this was 5 years ago. So I definitely would have been like, no, you can't do that. You know, whatever it is, creating my own space. But at the time, I just was people pleasing and doing all this stuff, but I took on too much. And there was just a little bit of, definitely mistreatment towards me as a female working there. I would say that. Just making me do certain things, like the way with cleaning, chores and things. It was just like, why you always got to ask me? Like, why do I always have to be
Yeah.
And like the other guys, they're just they're so hard on me and expecting so much.
Right.
But then I just got totally overwhelmed, and it got to the point where we just all sat down. It was like, Morgan, we need to part ways. And it was one of those things where I knew I should have left already, but I didn't know. I literally didn't know where to go after that. I was like, I don't know how to do this. What do I do? Like, find clients? How do I?
Plus, you're thinking, I got rent to pay.
Yeah.
And all this is in your mind. I got to eat. You
Yes. And I'm like, what? And so
They were jealous and petty. I
And they
bet
were
you
probably-
anything they were petty and jealous motherfuckers. I bet you anything.
well, see, now I'm like,
You're probably right.
yeah.
And they probably wanted to date
Men
her
are
too.
the worst. Just let women run everything. I bet even though you're training people physically, a little bit subconsciously, you're training people to have better mental acuity.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
You want a little more of this?
Yes. Hit me up, Max.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, I hate those guys. The smelly bastards. I bet you deal with a lot of odoriferous folks, right?
See, now it's fine because we're all just independent. We're all entrepreneurs. So there's no boss that's looking over everyone and everything. And I'm still cool with like some of the guys there. We
Oh, that's
all
good.
look back actually, and it was just a really unhealthy leadership in that gym.
Good.
That's really what it was. But even
Bet you're better
so,
off.
oh, they looked at me, and even like the head honcho looked at me and was like, "You're gonna be fine." He's like, "You're gonna be really successful." I think he knew that it was just like, I'm just not made to work for someone.
Right.
You know? So then after that, I had one client who just said, wherever you go, I'm going.
Oh.
And she just went. And I know she was purposely doing sessions with me to help me throughout like a 2-month period of time
Well,
as
that's
a transition. I know she was doing that.
But I'm sure she loved what you brought to the table. you know.
Absolutely. But I know that she definitely like said, "Oh, I'm going wherever you go." And then I had, 3 other clients from there. They tried to bribe them to stay and work with a different trainer, and they were like, "We don't want to work with anyone else. We just want to work with Morgan."
Yeah.
But then you're
And-
thinking, okay, I got something. I have something that people want to pay for.
Yes.
Because that was unproven to you. You know.
And then I started working at one of the independent gyms down the street, and then you just kind of do things. You just learn how to navigate around other people, and like you're totally on your own, and all of those things. And I would say this was also 2019, March of 2019 when I was fired. And so it was a year that I was on my own at that point. I was doing really well. I was doing really good. And then COVID. That was
Right.
in 2020. And at that point, I went home to be with my mom for like 2.5, 3 months, did virtual sessions, and then came back here, went into protesting, and then went right back into training. And I would say that's when you had to adapt to several gyms closed.
Right.
Like the one I had been at, done.
What's protesting?
Just like Black Lives Matter protesting.
Oh.
Yeah, came right back for that. And we would walk like 10 miles a day.
Oh, wow.
And we did that for weeks. And then, people were like, okay, we're ready to go back training, but you had to be outside.
Right.
So then we were outside in masks and doing all that stuff. And some people still virtual. And yeah, it just grew from there. So at this point, I think the longer you've been a trainer, you have a better chance of getting a referral base. At the beginning, I didn't have a referral base because I didn't have clients that were typically referred. It just didn't work like that.
Right.
So it was people finding me. I built up my Instagram. That was a big one. So then most of my clients were coming from Instagram.
Oh, I
And-
got to follow you on Instagram.
Yeah, it's pretty much it's like my portfolio.
Oh, great.
That's how I advertise myself.
Same.
If you want to know anything,
Same.
watch my page.
Same. Everyone's like, you got to do this Instagram for this Instagram for that, and that Instagram for those. Fuck that. It's just
No.
one thing. I'm in and I'm out.
Yeah, I'm not doing multiple pages. And
No.
people don't pay attention.
No.
Unless you want to, for funsies, do like a personal page, fine. But my page is work, and then my stories are more personal life, mostly cats,
Let me,
clients,
let me
you
see
know.
here. Let me
So-
find it. There's no signal in this goddamn
This is true.
carton.
No.
Well, I need to get it from you because
Yeah.
I need to know.
Oh, and there's algorithm stuff and all that. But I like it. I love it.
Well, it works for you. I mean, it's how you get known today.
Yeah.
I'm not on Instagram, but I just found you by a search. So you're on some website that came up when I searched for a personal trainer.
And
I
that's
can't remember
when
what
you
it was.
can pay someone to do SEO work for you. And if you have Instagram, YouTube, and do like YouTube Shorts, and then you also have a TikTok if you're willing to tolerate it. And then you have other little websites that you could be on. So it's like, it's all kind of a game. Like you can know you're really good. I know several trainers that are extremely successful and have, like the one he just trained, Joaquin Phoenix for Joker. He's trained him for years. And he's trained Keanu Reeves and all that. He doesn't have a huge Instagram. He doesn't have to. He's got his people. They know who he is. They know he's really good. And they go to him, the end.
What is the number of clients that would be great for you? Like, where are you at now? 20?
I honestly don't know. I really don't know.
I mean, you don't want to be working 7 days a week.
No. So where I'm at now is I have like a capacity of 4 to 5 sessions a day, and I do work 6 days a week. But it's not 4 to 5 sessions every single day. Today it's 3. So that worked out fine.
Right.
But then past like 4 or 5, like I can't do the social media stuff. I can't work out for myself. I can't keep my own life together.
Right.
But I would say my ultimate goal is, I'd say 4 clients, charging money. You know,
Per day, though. For a day.
No, 4 total.
You want 4 total clients paying a large sum of money.
Yeah.
You want.
And it's not for the money as much as it is, I want to work with people in film and people that, I mean, musicians would be great too. They're just harder to deal with. But like with film, and you see them 5 or 6 days a week when they're getting ready
set.
for a role and all that, right? So, and you're making plenty of money doing that.
Right.
But then you have your people, and then you have podcasts you go on. They pay you to be at events to speak about health and wellness and motivation. You have your social media, and you get paid to just simply exist.
Right.
And so your livelihood becomes your passion
Okay.
instead of, because I absolutely will not determine my income week to week or day to day.
Okay.
I have to have, an app, passive
Right.
income. Like I have to become my brand.
Understood. And also, just let you know that the check for this is going to be a little while coming. Just let you know. So.
This is called living your passion. Not
Okay.
everything you do gets paid for.
This is true.
It's all about, because I can't tell you how many free sessions I've given. I've done that just to depending on who
Help
it
humanity.
is. Yeah, and
Good
I'm like,
karma.
hey, let's just do a consultation, and I don't charge them. And some other trainer's like, how could you? I was like, I don't know, but I've done that with people, and I've had them for 3 years now.
That's good karma.
You know what I mean? And
That'll
I felt
come
like
back to you.
it's the right thing to do.
Also, congrats on building your life up from basically nothing.
That's incredible.
That's really good. I applaud that.
I don't know how I did it.
You did it.
I just
Something
did.
inside you did it.
Yeah, I just did.
Wow.
I know.
You focused on that.
It's less of the pathway of do this, then that. It's more like learn yourself and get to know yourself, why you do things, how you do things, what might be best. And when you learn those things, you just kind of navigate the world in a different way, and things just happen.
Well, it doesn't just happen. You have to be intelligent. You have to be talented.
Yeah, you can't be stupid.
You can't be stupid, and you
That wouldn't
can't
go
be untalented. You have to give people something. When they walk away from the session, they have to feel good. They have to, over time, feel like they're getting stronger and healthier. So it's not like you're not doing anything. It just didn't happen. It's it's you.
Yeah.
So
It comes from my core being of me understanding who I am.
Yeah.
And my passion, and then figuring out how to navigate that space.
Right.
And yeah.
And you still have to look for every individual, because everyone's different. So maybe this person needs this kind of training, and this person needs this speciality, and Naomi needs to learn how to balance and not fall down and whatever.
It's hard.
Yeah, you have
And
to
you have
really judge people every single time.
Pregnant clients. Then you have somebody's baby in your hands, your lives in your hands, protecting. I mean, that's a whole
What
other
if I
thing.
mess up that kid? I can't have her fall during a session.
Yes.
She's a pregnant woman.
It is. It's a lot of pressure, but in a good way. I love it. I just don't want it. That's why I'm saying, having, 15 different people, it's what if you just had less and
Right.
you got to put everything you had
What if
into
you're the trainer for Mick Jagger and you're on tour with the Stones, and
Yep.
it's your job to keep Mick fit for the show? He's 82 years old, but it's just you and Mick every day, and that's what you would love.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, because it's like it's art.
Yeah.
You are creating
It's one
a
guy,
working-
and you can zero in on him or her. Maybe you're a trainer for Beyonce or
Mhm.
whatever, and that would be a great gig.
Yeah, and that's what they do.
I
and
wish that for you.
Yeah, I would love that
You know,
because
you can't do P. Diddy. Sorry about that.
Oh darn it!
I know.
Let me ask
Put
you,
him aside.
This is a little dark, but you're working with a client inside their home. You come outside on a city street. Car rolls up. Guy gets out with a gun, points it to you, and says, "Get in the car." What do you do?
Well, if I get in the car, I'm probably dead.
Correct.
I've thought. Don't worry, I think about all these things. This is ADHD thoughts.
I'm just wondering about your security mindedness. I wonder what you have, if you have any tools.
Usually, I mean, I've envisioned these scenarios, and I've thought, like, well, if I was realistic, if they're trying to rob me, then I would be like, okay, well, I don't really have a lot that would benefit you. You can have the phone. I don't know what that'll do for you, but I'd be
Right.
like, you really picked the wrong person. This is
Right.
just a terrible idea.
Right.
You know, bad idea. You're not going to get much from this. But if it's like get in the car, I don't know. It's either like you just fight because you're going to die if you get in the car, or I guess you die fighting, or you don't die.
That's right. But I like the first two options,
Mm-hmm.
Especially. Like,
Can you fight? Do you know judo, jiu-jitsu?
No, but I guess you could, you know, I could use the female aspect of like, oh no, like what, and then ha ha ha. Because I do go to a range and I do know how to handle a gun, and I do
Oh,
know, yeah,
great.
that was very
Wow.
important to me.
Great.
Because I thought, not that I need to carry one around, it's that I need to know how to handle something I'm afraid of.
Have you heard of the tiger claw?
No.
What's great about the tiger claw is you keep it on your keychain and you slice a face, and the
Yes.
DNA is inside the blade, so you can bring that DNA to
Oh,
the
wow.
authorities.
Do you have one?
That's a good idea.
I used to. I have a Kubaton now.
Yeah, the
I
Kubaton.
have the stick.
Yeah.
So you go to your car. I think they still make these.
Max just has got his big bag
Plus I have
of
a knife.
tricks.
Why do I have this bag?
I don't
It's
I
your
know.
can't find it. I
It's your
can't find
ADHD
anything
bag.
in this. It is. It looks like my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're on the floor the whole time. So you go to your car, and you got this. My mom broke a dude's collarbone with this when she was at the mall at night, and she went to her car, and he came right up under her skirt and lifted her up over the car. She took this thing and went, boom, and broke his collarbone.
Wow.
So you got a key forward, Kubaton back. You can jab and jam and hit a throat, go right in the throat, go right in the eyeball, and then of course you got the key, you know, which can do some irreparable damage if you. I mean, she's a tank. She's gonna fucking take these fuckers down if they fuck with her. I'm just saying, you're going into all these houses as you ascend. You're going into all these strange mansions. Let's say, oh, I got a gym at home. You know, I'm assuming you have a plan because it sounds like you do.
Yeah, and also there's the other thing too. I've thought about this when people come up and I'm like, I have a Tesla, and I'm like, you know that the camera's recording this, right?
Yeah.
Like you should probably just go now because you're literally.
Yeah, but they don't give a fuck about cameras
That's true.
anymore.
Well, because nothing happens here.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
don't-
You're
they
kind
don't
of on your
actually
own.
Do
Yeah.
anything here?
The police won't come anyway, you know.
Yeah.
There's like, oh, another one.
Well, this begs the question. So far in your experience, you go to people's homes, has anything weird happened?
No.
Everything's been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good.
I've not had any issues, and
hope it
also
stays that
there's
way.
like I have several friends that have my location, and they all know where I'm going.
Great.
Good.
And before I go somewhere too,
Because
it's-
now you're precious cargo as you ascend. in the
Yeah,
business,
right.
You know what I mean?
And I think like when I show up, I'm not just going to a random house with someone. Like I usually FaceTime with people if I need to. I always look people up. Like I know who they are before I meet them. I look up everything. I use my crazy ex-girlfriend skills and get on LinkedIn and look to find all the things I need to
Yeah.
find. So
You
it's
vet them in the best way you can.
Yes. And I've not done anything to where I'm like, well, that was dumb.
Right.
Yeah, I'm usually pretty aware of what I'm doing.
Good.
That's kick
Yeah.
ass.
We wish you nothing but safeness.
Not surprised,
You know.
but just had to.
But
ask.
things can
well,
happen.
things happen all the time.
Yeah, like I don't go to my first session with somebody at a house at night.
Right.
Even if it's not them I'm worried about, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Some of these, if it's a wealthier neighborhood or area, they're looking for people
Shit
that
happens
walk
everywhere.
in. Yes. They're looking for, like I had a friend who was, just came into his parking garage, and somebody hopped the fence right as soon as he was going to get into his house. And they were going to try to break into his home. Now, he happened to be armed, which saved him, but they just follow you home and just go through your gate with you.
Right.
You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know
or you
what
open up the garage door, and before it closes,
Yes.
they're in.
Yes.
Yeah. That
You know what I
happens.
found out, and I want to get one so bad, but there's a rubber bullet gun. It looks like a Glock.
Ooh.
You can carry it live in the state of California.
Can you really?
It's a rubber bullet gun. You don't need to have a permit. This fucking thing will do some serious damage. And you can, some people can hold a gun, but if you point this thing to someone and say, get the fuck away from me,
Right.
they're not going to fuck with you because it's so convincing.
Right.
But if they do come towards you, you hit them with a rubber bullet.
Number one, you won't kill them,
No.
but you'll disarm them.
Yeah.
And it's legal to have it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it hurts.
I
it
bet.
It hurts. So I'm definitely thinking about getting one. They're kind of
Oh,
expensive,
wow.
but I'm
You're
like,
going to be packing rubber bullets.
yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. I've thought of. My boyfriend was saying, like, well, if you want to practice loading, unloading, or just managing a gun, he was like, you can get these other, and that might be what he was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
That you can get that just to practice handling and not be worried about
It has
actual
all the
bullets.
mechanisms of a pistol, essentially, or a 9mm,
Yeah. Very
As
interesting.
you have more clients and you're going on and you're doing a lot of, seeing what people do and you're tailoring what you're doing with different people, are you developing any of your own modalities? Like, do you have like Morgan's Way that you
It's
are?
starting to happen more and more.
Yeah.
Are you
now.
going to have a YouTube video of like, do it the Morgan Rees way?
I'm
This is the
getting
Morgan
there.
Rees method.
It's now becoming learning.
We're going to exercise and
You may
have,
as well capitalize on your charisma.
Right.
I know. I'm thinking, how do I even?
When I
'cause
talk to you, I'm going to have captions underneath me, so you can look at
Oh,
what I'm saying.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's definitely happening. And then I've started to get more comfortable with. I got so serious with all the instruction that I was like, I do have a lot of really weird things I do that I don't notice that are like just spectrum things, Like we have like T-Rex arms when we're standing there. Like if I watch what I just filmed, I'm like, what am I doing? And I'm just like standing there with my arms here, just staring at nothing because I'm thinking about what am I going to do next. Or I walk one direction. Nope, don't go that way. Go this way. Nope, turn around. Nope, that's not right. Stand. Can't function. Oh, here we got it. It's all these things happening. So I'm trying to allow more of that in the video, not because I'm insecure about it,
Right.
because I'm like, oh, that's annoying. People don't want to see that. And I'm like, or maybe they do,
Or
because it's entertaining.
You're honoring who you are, and maybe it is
Yeah.
entertaining. And there was that show called Love on the Spectrum. You could start working
I
out
love
on the
that
spectrum.
show. I
Work
love
out on
it.
the spectrum. Maybe you do workouts for people who are ADHD. They're on the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to work out, and you can like tap into that mindset, and you can have healthier spectrum people.
Mm-hmm. It does. It really does help.
Yeah, you should. Maybe
with,
you've got a
like,
niche.
sensory stuff. Yeah. So it's coming along. I'm trying to get better.
Do you
at
have a
it.
YouTube channel?
I'm putting videos on YouTube Shorts, but to
Oh.
listen, we got to get through the whole organizing and when I'm going to edit videos day.
All right. So there's nothing to plug right now.
I have so much, but I'd have to sit down and do things.
Okay.
And that's a problem. Is like I have brands that have sent me things and I'm like, okay, like I should be able to film this in 2 days. Like normal people, they get the shoes, film the shoes and say, I love this. Here's my code.
And they do the whole
Blah, 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 blah.
unboxing thing. We're going to unbox the new, weights that you add water to so you can work on
And I'm
travel.
like 3 weeks later,
Right.
I'm like, okay, just do it. Just make yourself do it. And I do it in like 10 minutes.
Yes.
And
but
I'm like-
it takes a week to get there.
Oh, at least.
Wow.
I'm a month behind on one of them right now.
Wow.
And I said,
But-
today you cannot sleep.
But you're getting products sent to you
Yeah.
to check out?
Yeah.
And endorse.
Yes.
And if you do endorse it, they pay you?
Well, it depends. Because
Okay.
honestly, right
That's
now,
cool,
I'm
though.
not getting it done fast enough to feel like I can
they've
charge.
moved on.
That's a whole other
I'm like,
separate aspect of the
That's
I
like
see.
my own, like, I wouldn't want to work with me unless I knew I could send me something and you got 7 days
Right.
and spin out great content.
I see.
Then you're good.
You
But-
need to work on that.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And then but I still get products that, like, I got a pair of shoes that were over $200.
Oh.
And I really like them.
Oh.
And so I'm like, you're going to sit down and you're going to film this and do that, and then you're going to edit it right after.
Yes.
And then I have to make myself do it, and I can't do anything until I do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
It just sounds like every day is this big chore to get through.
It is.
Wow.
Yay.
Fun for Morgan.
Yeah.
Do you like horror films?
I do, and I just saw Terrifier 3.
Oh, you did? How was it?
We have
Art
to
the Clown.
comment. Look, she's wearing a Godzilla shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
well, that's more science fiction.
Is he? It says Godzilla 1954. Now, is Godzilla your number one?
No.
What's number one?
I really like all the Marvel movies. I mean, we're like kind of like running out of steam now, but the ones that were not like overdone like they are now, I've always liked that. When I was a kid, Batman. I always loved Batman. Spider-Man came later, but yeah, it's comic book stuff. Even though I didn't really read comics, I've loved all of those characters because it's all superhero stuff or just magic or vampires, zombies.
Okay, so if you can handle horror, you can handle Longlegs. Have you seen Longlegs?
I did.
It made me think of you.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because of the FBI agent. She has this beautiful mind, and I thought it was going to be the story of the killer. But it really is the story of her and her incredible mind and the way that she was able to survey that neighborhood in the beginning. Do you remember that? And it was like, wow. I mean, obviously, there's a whole other psychic element involved. But I do think those worlds aren't too far apart from each other.
Yeah, she was able to sense a lot of stuff.
A lot of sense.
Yeah, and I like some movies that are just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like Poor Things. Poor Things is my... Oh my God, I love that.
It sounds so familiar.
And I was like,
sure
this
I've
girl
It's with
is
Emma
like...
Stone, and I haven't seen it yet, but
yes,
it's supposed
of course,
to be amazing.
Of course. It's the Frankenstein film.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen it yet.
Frankenstein-esque, yes.
Yeah.
Incredible film.
Very
I felt
imaginative.
so understood in
Yeah.
that movie. Like,
She is feral.
because she's just like, I'm going to do this. And
Yeah.
it's like, I
It
mean,
could have been called Morgan Thing.
Yes. and then
I
I
see.
went with my boyfriend and he's looking and I was like, yes. And he's like, you want to be a prostitute? And I was like, no.
No.
I was like, she's just doing things and then she's trying to understand why society is the way it is and all of these other aspects of it.
Yeah.
And he's like, is that how you figured things out? And I was like, no, I didn't go be a prostitute to
That's
figure out how
great.
society. I'm saying that her brain is just so practical, but then does develop into more like empathy and
Yeah.
sympathy and all of that later
Yeah.
on. But in the process of it, I did look it up though, and I was like, I wanted to see if the character was intended to be on the spectrum, and the director was like, I mean, yeah. She very well could be. A lot of her
Fascinating.
characteristics can fit that because you can be around someone who's autistic.
So the essence of that character you completely related to.
completely.
Oh.
Where
So then when I see it, then I'm going to think, oh, that's Morgan.
Yeah, and
Okay.
but don't take it so straightforward that you can be around someone autistic who is just like, your clothes are ugly. You know what I mean? And you're just like, well, damn, okay. I'm not like that,
Right.
you know?
You might think it, but
No,
at least
I might-
you have a filter.
I'm like, do whatever you're going to do.
Okay.
Be yourself because, like, I've just done so many weird things that
Yeah.
I don't, you know. But there are definitely times where
Yeah.
someone will ask me something and I'm like, do you want me to be very straightforward with this? Or do you want me to be, you know, I was like, do not ask me that question
Right.
if you don't want an answer.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
'Cause
So
I
people have to
will-
learn what you know, if they can handle your honesty, they realize, oh, I can never ask Morgan that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
different with
'Cause
clients.
she'll tell me the truth.
But yeah, like if it's with friends and they're like, do you like this outfit? I'm like, do you like it? And they're like, well, what do you think? I was like, you know that I don't represent the large majority of the population. So I'm probably not a good person to ask. But do I think it looks good? Yes. Do I think it could be better? Yes.
You're
but you're
much
pretty,
nicer
so
than I am.
and then I'm like, yeah, but your face is pretty, so it doesn't really matter that much. I'm like, the clothes aren't even that big of a deal because you're so pretty. You just don't look at the other stuff.
But given, I'm going to go back to Godzilla, given everything you've said, what about the dynamic of Godzilla and comic books and horror and zombies? I mean, do you feel like you're kind of a zombie? Do you relate to any of that stuff? Why
It's
do
how
you
I
like
see
it?
the world. It's how I see the world.
Like a comic book.
I'm always like, what if this? What if that? Impulsive thoughts. And then like I'll
Do you
think
walk down the street and go, pow, and you see the words coming out, and bam.
in
and-
my head.
Really?
Yeah, because I learned as a kid that's not normal to walk around and like, you know, you see the kids that like pretend to jump over a chair and they like land like a superhero. Like I learned pretty quick like kids aren't going to be your friend if you do that.
Yeah,
So
right.
I would do it in my head.
I see.
But it's definitely a thing of like, I'll say to my friends all the time, like, what if I just started like floating and I'd been hiding it this whole time and you had no idea? You know, I'll say things like that. Or what if I just like took off and just started flying? Like, what would you even, and they're just like, I'd be pissed because we'd be rich by now. I'd be like,
Oh.
valid point. And I'm
True.
like,
I would think it'd be really cool.
all day.
I mean, can you float?
I wish.
Oh, okay. You're not going to levitate now, are you?
No, if I did, if
I got high
I would have
ceilings,
done
you
it
can go kinda
so
high.
far before this.
Oh, okay. I think that'd be really awesome.
Oddly
Yeah.
enough, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I would just be like, what am I doing now? I mean, I'd have so many cats. If I could show superpowers like that, it'd be the first thing I do.
You would have like 10 cats? Because
Yep.
you foster cats.
Yep. 10 cats, a rescue, and
Oh, wow.
So great.
all kinds of
I
stuff.
don't think I want to be in that house. With 10 cats?
But I would
Would
have
that be
so
10
much.
separate
He
cat
hates
boxes?
domestic animals.
Well,
No,
would
I
have,
don't. I had cats. I love cats. I have fish right now.
That's not a domestic animal.
It depends.
He teaches
I
you
feed them
tricks.
and they're there, and I don't have to walk them. And
You don't have to do anything.
no, that's
but
the whole
people-
point. You don't really have to do anything.
Right.
Yeah, it's,
But are you
it's-
having that emotional relationship with them?
Actually, yeah. One died, and I was very sad.
Oh, you
Wait,
were!
which
I
one
was.
died? Who
Oh, there's
died?
hope for you yet.
Well, I like
Which
living
one was
things.
it? Did it have a name? Did Naomi name it?
She didn't name it, but the type of fish was called a wrasse. It was very pretty.
When did that happen?
Happened about 2 months ago.
Oh, okay, then maybe I did know about that.
I don't know.
Every time I come in, she shows me all the fish and
We're
their
getting all new
names and-
fish, but one did die.
Well,
it
my
just disappeared.
condolences.
You're
I think
getting all new fish?
No, we're always getting new
Oh,
fish.
okay, yeah.
No. A lot of them are pretty much healthy, but one died,
Hmm.
and I was sad.
Sorry to hear that.
I'm not a zombie. Oh, fish died. Who cares? I like fish. I like cats and dogs, and
Okay.
you're on the fence with my compassion.
If you say so, what am I going to do?
You know me pretty well. Am I an uncompassionate guy?
Well, once you get past yourself, I think you can show a little compassion.
See?
Wow.
It's
See?
like, it's like, do you want
That's-
to ask?
No,
questions?
I'm down. That's cool. I trust his opinion. I don't like it, but I can trust it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, you don't want to be in the room when my wife does her fashion show. So I got some things today, and I want to try them on because I am ruthless. But she loves it.
Mm-hmm.
You look like a defeated Muppet. That sweater is doing you no favors. I'm always tender with a compliment,
Mm-hmm.
and she always knows that she's better than the garment. What were you thinking with that? I mean, she laughs. But you have to
love
be
it.
together for 31 years.
Yeah.
I mean, we're celebrating we were married on Halloween. We had a Halloween wedding. We're about to celebrate our silver. Can you believe it?
I can. I was there.
He came as Fred Flintstone, and Naomi was Wilma.
It was Wilma.
I believe this.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun.
Really fun. Congratulations early.
We had Lurch walk down the aisle with a severed hand on a tray, a silver tray, and our rings were on the severed hands. That was cool. That was fun.
That's
It was very cool.
Yeah,
That was a fun party.
that was a good one.
It was a really good one. Well, don't get 10 cats. Don't, you know what I mean? I know you're saying that you're weird and everything, but you know the women that have like 10, 20 cats, you don't want to go down that road.
Yeah, realistically, I have 5.
That's a lot though.
But then I would have to have the money to like have the space to
Yeah.
do all of this. Because
Right. Now, is your boyfriend down with 5 cats? Is he gonna come over?
I mean, listen.
Are you cleaning the boxes every day
I
with
have
5
to-
cats?
Okay, he got me an automatic litter box thing.
Does
And
it work?
This thing's like $600.
Wow.
And yeah, it's like a rocket ship.
Wow.
And so
okay.
the 2 I have 3 now. One is a foster kitten, and then the other 2 are my cats. The 2 older cats, they get in the rocket ship, do their thing, so I don't have to clean out the litter.
Okay. Now,
So-
do cats, is that a natural way to ease your mind? Do they ease your mind, ease all your thoughts?
I don't know. I wouldn't recommend getting a Bengal cat. I don't know that was just a stupid dopamine thing, but I love him.
But they
you
look
know?
really cool.
Yeah, he is very sweet, but my other cat hates him, so she doesn't want to be close to him and doesn't want to play with him, and so I walk him on the leash like twice a day. He climbs trees.
Wow.
So I knew when I was getting a cat like that, they can't just stay inside. I should have, though, looking back, it's like ideally you want 2 of them. They can bond. And then they lay together and they cuddle together and then they like fight each other for fun and they can do all these things. So I foster kittens because when they hit like 8 or 9 weeks, they can play with him. They will
Oh,
actually
right.
play because he's very sweet.
Right.
He doesn't.
And take some of the pressure off you.
Oh, God. That's why I get these cats.
I see.
Because then he'll play, and then they're playing all night. They're running around. Then somebody ends up adopting this kitten, and they're like, why is he so, like, rambunctious and aggressive? And I'm like, I don't know why that would happen. Maybe my half-wild cat did that.
Right.
But it's great. It helps. But, yeah, it's a lot right now. Like, he's peed on my comforter twice, the kitten.
Oh, I would think so.
And then...
They rip up your couches and
He's not doing that right now, but I bought a very cheap couch. in general. I don't sit
idea.
down.
Yeah,
I
very
don't
good
sit.
idea. But if you're also watching a movie, you're watching Poor Things for the 10th time, is there a cat on your lap and you're stroking the cat? And it's
Neither
really
of my
cozy?
cats want to sit on
Oh,
me. The Bengal cat.
So it's not really a comfort thing.
I picked a Bengal cat.
They don't
like
even
I
want to be
do
with you.
Men, and I just pick avoidant things that are not.
Uh-oh.
And I got like an avoidant attachment cat.
So is that also feeding into your abandonment issue? Because
It's
the cat
not
doesn't want to be with
helping.
you.
And I'm like, okay, fine. But then we have like this silent tethered like safety thing. But then I have the kitten, and he sleeps like right on my face and like right to his, he's with me all night. So that's nice, you know.
Okay.
But
Awesome.
yeah, but in general, no, they're not. You know, when you see videos where they're like, I can't do those videos. My cat has an Instagram, and I can't.
Your cat has an Instagram.
Yeah, because he's a Bengal, and so people are like, "Ooh, look, let's flip through and look at this."
But there's
Yeah.
no cuddling with the Bengal.
no, because he won't cuddle.
He won't cuddle.
No.
The Bengal's like, F you, get away from
Yeah,
me.
he'll just go, and then I have to put him down.
But his
And-
Instagram has 4 million followers.
No,
Oh.
because I don't listen. I can't even edit my own videos.
Okay, that's
His
true.
videos are so lazy. I'm just like, watch him eat grass, and that's it.
Yeah. While I don't have another Instagram for me, both my dogs have their own Instagram.
See?
And they're very popular.
How they
Not
really-
popular like, popular amongst the small amount of followers.
But they have followers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah.
People like to look at animals do
Yeah.
things.
And especially if you put your sensibility onto the animal. Like, I'm always making Barney do stuff and reacting to his faces. And, people, it's more comical than anything else.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It's kind of cartoony in a way.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good.
Wow. I mean, I knew you a little bit. Obviously, you're very
Yeah,
multi-layered.
you're cool. You're really cool. It's getting stuffy in here.
Now it's getting stuffy?
Yeah, it's-
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to say thank you for coming. And it was really fun. But I also we have to have a plug. Not for you, but for Max. We mentioned comic books, and you love comic books. Well, Max,
I want to show her one illustration.
Max is a lifetime illustrator.
See, this is the kind of stuff I love to learn about.
And this is Max's other passion that he's been doing most of his life, and he's coming out with a brand new book for anyone listening, and it's called Show It Up.
It's my first and last book. It's called Max Koch Draws: A Crude Retrospective. I've got blurbs. I've got endorsements.
Lifetime work of comics.
It was so
And illustrations.
much work. However, there's one.
And congratulations, Max.
Thank you. There's one I want to show Morgan.
So
'cause
you
I think
drew
she'll
these?
Yeah.
You drew them.
Yeah.
This is
Over his
wild.
whole life.
This is wild.
Yeah.
I
This is a
just can't-
compilation of his life's work.
That's
You were talking
incredible.
about protesting. I thought you'd appreciate this one. This is from the self-portrait chapter.
Okay. It's very true.
See?
And I can even say when we, even during protesting, even just in COVID, nobody ever really talked about this. You could say a lot of stuff under your breath
Yeah.
with those masks on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
people did not know what you were saying.
And they can't lip read either. So.
Yeah, it just there was so much, or like even during protesting, you had people leading the protest, and you might have someone up there just like, God, does she have to do this again? She's so freaking loud, And you're like, they're protesting, but you still have this whole dynamic going on where it's just like, oh, he always forgets the words, or oh yeah, he needs to be the main attention. Like you did the speech, dude. Get off the truck.
Right.
Next person comes up.
Yeah.
It was really interesting. It was like its own little social world in and of itself.
No, it's cool.
That's
Congrats on the book, man.
Thank you. So it'll be available. It's available on Amazon and Kindle. If you don't want to buy the soft cover, you can get the ebook. You can look at it on your phone.
I mean, I'm looking at the actual printed version. It's really high res. It
is.
looks fantastic.
We didn't fuck around. I mean, I had an initial version of the book that I did myself. I got a lot of feedback, and I had one friend say, "You need an editor. I'm not gonna. It's nothing about what you wrote. It's nothing about the imagery. I can make this better." And I believed him. And then he made me hire a layout artist. Next thing you know, it's better than I could ever imagine. I have a proofreader, editor, layout artist, blurbs, 21 fucking drafts of this turd. Finally, it's ready.
But it
for
was
release.
worth it.
It was.
The end product is fantastic.
Thank you.
And
Well, you
congratulations.
haven't even read it yet.
No, but I've seen it.
I'll
I'm
send
seeing
you
it
the
now.
link and you'll
I'm gonna
sit
buy
and look at it.
Copy. You're going to autograph it for
You're
me.
going to show Naomi and she's going to throw it in the
She'll
fire.
She'll throw it at me. Are you kidding?
And also,
she loves throwing things at me.
you could take, here goes like me managing not my own life, pictures of the comics, put them on an Instagram page. That's what they're doing. And you do.
I'm doing that.
It already exists, you know? Yeah.
I'm doing that. And
Yes.
it's instead of showing the actual image in the book on my Instagram, and I'll be following you, so maybe you'll follow me. But there's the images that didn't make it.
Oh, cool.
Oh, the outtakes.
Outtakes.
Very
and that's
nice.
generating a lot of heat. So
Absolutely. And
That's
there's
such
way
a good
more
idea.
outtakes probably than what's in the book. 'Cause
There's-
you've been
there's
drawing your
enough
whole
for
life.
8 books.
Oh, I'm sure.
There's
I'm
so
sure.
much that didn't make it. But
For sure.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's really neat.
But it was a real pleasure meeting you. And
You're awesome.
Thank
you. And
Yeah,
you're
it was
so
nice
open
And
to
what is
talk
your
to you.
Instagram handle?
It is at Morgan Rees Fit, REES. No
Great.
E on the end.
Fantastic.
Can't wait to follow you.
Yeah.
You were a great guest.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
having
for-
me. That was fun.
A lot of fun. Great to get to know you. I wish you more clients, or I wish you one really super client.
Mhm.
I wish you a life of more focus and less mental anguish, much less cats, or at least one that really cuddles well. And just be happy, Morgan.
Yeah.
Just be a happy girl.
Working on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, really, it's, if anything, after talking so much about just having different neurodivergent symptoms, regardless of what a label is or not, it's pretty exhilarating to learn so much about yourself. You become your own friend in a way you've never been before, and you're certainly not as hard on yourself, and you accept yourself even when you make mistakes or you're not on top of it. You kind of live a better life of just holding your own hand.
Well put.
Yeah.
Take
it took
the-
me a
take-
lot longer to learn that than it did
Take
you.
the journey to learn about yourself.
Yeah.
Then you can actually like yourself.
Yes, that changes everything.
It changes everything.
Mhm.
Well, Max, I like you, and that changed
I
everything.
love you.
Oh, thank you. I love
about
you
that?
too. All right. Well, that's our final thought.
All right.
Until next time, thanks for listening. Take care, everybody.